Well, hey guys, what's going on? Jamie here. Just wanted to do another quick video on Drip. We'll recap the AMAs that took place over the weekend, and I will go over some important timeline things that you're going to need to know as we get closer and closer to the day that the dogs crediting goes live. Because once that goes live, it's going to start kind of just snowballing as far as the timeline goes. There's a lot going on, and you definitely want to be in the loop with what's happening. So we'll cover all that in this video. Of course, it goes without saying that I am not a financial advisor. Never take anything I say as financial advice. Do your own research, do your own due diligence. If you're going to get into this or anything I talk about, make sure you're only putting in risk capital, guys. Okay, funds you can afford to lose. Also, follow me on Telegram. I will leave a link for that down below. And if you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, hit subscribe, hit the little bell icon so you'll get notified straight away whenever I do a brand new video. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, guys. As you can see, Drip sitting at $7. Is that the new floor? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I did a post over on our Telegram on Saturday morning, and I talked about the floor looking like it's around $7, and it really hasn't moved since then. So we'll see what happens. To be honest, I would really love for it to drop down a little bit so I can get some more at the $6 range. But we'll see what happens. I think with everything that's going to be rolling out, I think over the next couple of weeks, definitely over the next couple of months, I think there's going to be some nice price appreciation. And for people who are bagging up at this price right now, I think they're going to be very, very happy. Of course, I can't guarantee that. I'm purely speculating. So don't come back to me saying, oh, well, you said this and you said that. Again, nobody can predict the price of any token in the crypto space. So again, take a look at it, figure out what you're going to do. All I can do is, control what I'm going to do. And I know what I'm doing right now at this point. So let's go ahead and take a look at this quick timeline. And then we'll go over some of the AMA notes. Somebody actually sent me the notes from the AMA over the weekend. I actually wasn't around. I was actually in Philly hanging out for the weekend, and I wasn't even looking at anything on as far as what was going on. So somebody had sent me over on Telegram the notes, so we'll cover that. Most of it I haven't even seen myself, so we're gonna, I guess, kind of react to it live on this video. But this is the important dates that you're gonna need to know, guys. Okay, especially if you are, gonna be participating in the farm. Now, of course, as I've said before, I'll say it again. Make sure you have a position in the faucet because the faucet really is the main hub. I know it is for me, right? When you have passive daily income coming in from the faucet to the tune of 1%, I mean, you can get into all these different things, right? So make sure you have your position in the faucet secured. You're content with that, and then you can branch off into the garden, into the farm, all this good stuff. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about it. September 15th, which is 3 days from when I'm making this video, that's when the dogs V2 crediting starts. It will take place on the old UI, guys. Okay, so just be aware. And I'm sure, as we get closer to that, stay plugged into our Telegram. We'll get all the links out. But it's going to be taking place on the old UI, the one with the butterfly. Okay. As soon as the dogs V2 crediting is open, a marketing competition will start, which will bring a huge wave of ads, articles, Twitter influencers, interviews. There are already half a dozen YouTube interviews scheduled with people outside of the Drip community that have millions of followers. So to me, that's going to be pretty huge. I mean, right now there's a bunch of influencers that are in the community, like within the community that Forex is doing AMAs with. But once he starts branching out and talking to people outside of the Drip community, that's when it's going to be major, okay? Because again, he's going to be reaching out to people that have never heard of Drip, people that have never seen Drip before, and it's going to bring new eyeballs to our community, to our ecosystem, and hopefully it's going to bring new funds, right? Because it's one thing to kind of talk to the people that are already in. It's a whole other ball game when you talk to people that are not in yet, right? Does that make sense? Right? So it says here there are already half a dozen YouTube interviews scheduled with people outside of the community that have millions of followers. Also, banner ads already scheduled for BSC Scan, CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, DexTools, DappRadar, CoinGate, Cointelegraph. So that's gonna be huge as well. I know he covered the marketing budget anywhere from $150,000 to $200,000 worth of marketing in the first 30 days, and then he said he can sustain that budget for the next couple of months, right? So that's, imagine having a marketing budget that big outside of the content creators that you're marketing and getting in front of crypto people. That's going to be That's going to be monstrous. Okay. September 16th to October 18th, heavy paid marketing happens. That's what I was talking about, right? This will continue after we go live. Tuesday, October 8th. This is a big one right here. This is when the animal farm goes live. So, mark that on your calendar. Tuesday, October 18th. Did I say 8th? It's Tuesday, October 18th. Okay. So essentially from September 16th, right, the day after Dogs V2 crediting starts, to October 18th, which is like a whole month, there's going to be heavy marketing. Okay. Then October 18th is when it goes live. Now, onwards, after October 18th, specific marketing for individual products begins. The momentum of all the marketing so far will continue initially to drive interest in Scratchy. So I mentioned that before, that the marketing, all this, heavy marketing and all the buzz that's going to be created is going to parlay. Not only, it's gonna help launch the farm, but it's going to help to create awareness for Scratchy, because that's going to be the next big launch, I believe, right? Or the next thing that Forex is going to be rolling out. That's going to be big. That's going to be major. 2 or 3 weeks later, Dogs of Fortune game is going to launch, right? That's going to be another one. But the reason why Scratchy, I think, is going to be big, Forex did say that he believes that Scratchy is going to be the biggest thing that's going to come to the ecosystem, right? And that's saying something, because of, you see how big the faucet is, you see how big the farm, was when it was live, and it, I believe is going to be again. You see how big the garden is, and he's saying that Scratchy is going to be bigger than all those things. Okay, so that's going to be pretty big. Okay, so that's going to be major. There's also going to be the new drip UI. So again, the Dogs of Fortune game, the drip UI is going to come before Scratchy. And then after that, there are going to be new contracts to support the drip faucet and the vault. And then after that, for the next year and a half to, I would say 2 years, right? Next year and a half, like Forex says a year and a half. I say a year and a half to 2 years, because this is DeFi, guys. This is business. Sometimes things get pushed back. We never know. But over the next year and a half to 2 years, there's going to be new products that are going to be rolling out. Products that according to Forex are already built. He just has to roll them out. Of course, he can't roll them out at one time. That'd be crazy, right? So he has all these products that are already built. He's just going to roll them out, like once a product every other month or something like that, or every 2 or 3 months. He's going to roll these things out, and these are going to be ways we can create more passive income within this ecosystem, right? It's a money making machine. This ecosystem is, so it's going to be pretty powerful. So let's go ahead and jump into the AMA recap, guys. Now, I didn't put this together. Somebody sent this over to me on Telegram. I believe the person who takes these notes, I think her name is oh man, it's slipping my mind right now. I think her name is Irene or something like that. Shout out to her. I mean, she sits there and takes all these notes, and this is a big benefit to the community, because look, let's face it, not all of us can sit in front of a computer for all of Forex's AMAs. He does a bunch of them, and he's going to be doing a bunch more as we get, as we launch these different things. And a lot of times, people are running around, people have jobs, they can't sit in front of their computer. I know for me, I'm super busy. I'm running all over the place, and for me to sit down and actually sit through an AMA, it's very rare, right? So these notes, I think there's a couple of people that do them, but for this one that I'm showing you here, I think her name is Irene, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out to her. She's doing a big service to the community, because she's giving us the cliff notes to these AMAs, right? So anyway, there was two that was done. There was one yesterday, which was the 11th. There was also one done on the 10th, which was Saturday. So we'll go through some of this right here. I'm not going to go through all of it, because I mean, she really goes into detail, like information that I'm not really, I'll be honest with you, I'm not even too interested in, right? Like, she goes into Forex's high school career and stuff like that. I mean, that's good to know. I'm more interested in the actual projects, but I think Forex does go into them to kind of show you his background a little bit. But I want to, come down here again. I haven't read through all these notes yet, so I'm kind of seeing this as I'm showing it. But some of this stuff, for the sake of time, I'm not going to be hitting on everything here. Like, they talk about his avatar, which is great. You see here, he talks about his journey with Bitcoin since 2012, and how he, how he learned to code and how he got into coding. He also ran a pretty sizable Discord group. They talk about his hobbies. whether he's a Star Trek fan or a Star Wars fan. Um, so let me see here. Let me see if there's some interesting stuff here. It says here, what drives and inspires you? What kind of legacy do you want to leave? So he says he's inspired to build real tools that improve people's lives. He wants to take some of the roadblocks away from regular financial products by bringing them to DeFi and making them fair. Crediting and investing space is highly gatekept and unfair. He sees the reasoning behind some of it as people with lack of experience might enter risky projects. However, Forex believes each investor should be able to do with their capital how they want. There is risk, but it will be more from yourself, not a centralized party or backroom stuff going on that investors are not made aware of. So again, he's talking a little bit about what drives him in crypto, what makes him build these different things, and kind of it's good to know because he is you get to kind of know a little bit about the dev, right? I mean, a lot of times we don't really know anything about the people that are kind of creating these contracts or what drives them. So this is pretty interesting because again, he's looking for something to build long term and people, have access to it, right? Let's see here. Okay, let's see. So it says here, Forex spoke more about the fact that his primary cash flow is not from his projects. That's huge, okay? Because he doesn't need drip to be successful because he makes money elsewhere. Like I know he trades and does a lot of things with Bitcoin. So, because he has his lifestyle and I guess his way of living supported from that, drip. No, don't get me wrong. Of course, he's going to make money off drip, and he well should. It's his baby, right? But there are devs that the only way they make money is through their project, and the temptation for them to rug a project is so high because that's their only means of income. The fact that Forex makes most of his primary cash flow from outside projects, I think, is pretty interesting. Okay, since Forex was already wealthy, he didn't care about putting fees on things. However, he knew he could do better work if he could hire more devs and pay them and pay for marketing and enhance all the projects through promotion. Um, his main motivation is not making money. He has about $1.5 million from all his projects, but billions have been made by people in them, which is great. Okay. A little bit about audits. When you get an audit, they tell you issues of the code, and they also point out where there is too much centralization, and they give you suggestions. This time when he met with the auditors, he explained they should primarily be looking to test the code and look for actual issues, right? That's huge. I know auditors don't really test the code. They read the code and they just say, okay, well, you have A, B, C in this code. Can you fix that? And right, and then it's up for you to fix it. Here, he told the auditors to actually test the code, which is great. In general, Forex has found that auditors just review projects looking for centralization, not actually testing the code and looking for flaws. He's at least seen 6 other DeFi projects that had multiple audits from well-known auditing firms, but still had issues with them, which some of you guys might know who those projects are, right? All right, so he talked a little bit about his dog. What life-changing things have you been able to witness seeing all of the testimonials about drip? One thing that was awesome is that when COVID came, when people lost their jobs and businesses, they were able to get by on drip. Without drip, they would have lost their house, not pay their bills, which is, man, that's awesome. I mean, that is crazy, right? I mean, think about how many people have been living off of drip these past couple of years, or last year, not past couple of years, but last year or so, year and a couple of months. It's been rough. We don't need to go into, how the economy's been or what people have been going through, people losing their jobs, but it's been amazing. Another guy, his parents lost their house. He was able to pay off the debt on their house and save it for them. Someone had a medical procedure done. Drip has made almost a dozen millionaires, but also when you make a millionaire, you give them the power to save other people's lives as well, their friends, family. So, I mean, again, I'm not making any income claims. There are no guarantees. As I've said before, no one knows how you're going to do. You may do better. You may do worse. You know the whole disclaimer, right? but there are a lot of testimonials of people who have done amazing things with drip. You really can't say that too many with a lot of programs, right? A lot of these different platforms out here, because let's face it, some of them don't even last that long for you to have a testimonial. Drip has been around for almost a year and a half. The faucet, right? Forex's long-term strategy is to get into investments that have fundamental value and strong roadmaps. He then continues to DCA into these assets to live off the yield and dividends. So he's talking a little bit more about what he does. Let's see if there's anything juicy here. All of this is juicy, right? But I think you know what I mean. Some things that are specific. What happens if the drip supply being locked doesn't exceed the rate of minting? Will that damage the price level? It depends. Where it reduces the price of any asset or those tokens being swapped out for another asset. Supply of drip is relative to the demand of drip in the faucet contract. If the demand for the faucet contract is higher than the supply of drip in the tax pool increases, and the supply does not need to increase to pay out dividends in the faucet. If the demand is higher in secondary contracts, those secondary contracts are not inflationary and they never have the potential to mint drip. If that drip is being migrated to secondary contracts, it's not going to the tax vault or less is going there. The taxes on the secondary contracts do still send some of that drip to the faucet, so they are supporting the faucet in some way. But people using the faucet is what is going to send the most drip to the tax vault. Okay, let's repeat that. People using the faucet is what's going to send the most drip to the tax vault. Use the faucet, people. Like use the faucet. You want to support the project? Use the faucet. Supply of drip is irrelevant to price without using more context. I mean, this is all good stuff here. If the supply for drip is increasing, but the supply in the secondary contracts or demand is also increasing, then the amount of drip hitting the market is decreasing. If the demand for the secondary contracts decreases, then of course it will have an effect on the drip price. It will put sell pressure on drip and the price will drop, just like any tradable asset, guys. Okay, drip is just like any other crypto in the space. This is true of drip and it's true of anything out there. So again, it is what it is. So see, what we are preparing to do is to provide several new utilities for drip. Animal farm launching will give more price appreciation. You cannot ethically say that you have a platform paying out a guaranteed dividend if you have not addressed the ability for the system to keep paying when supply is low. When we have marketing that will promote drip to the secondary platforms, the next two products for drip will drive a huge wave of drip into the tax vaults. So we will be hitting the supply issue on multiple sides. New drip products that send whole principal to the tax vaults. Wow, this is good stuff. Two new L2 products coming for drip. Layer 2 products coming for drip. Is it like a hard lock type thing or a soft lock? The two new products that are built on top of the faucet and reservoir as a secondary option get in with a bit of extra utility. Still using the same tax vault, just a bit of extra gamification. There's a few extra things we're going to do. There will be a type of raffle system, and there will be a model that rewards larger deposits and some other utility from the perspective of insuring stakes, where you pay a bit each day to insure your account. We won't ever replace the core drip contract. You can use the layer 2 or not, which is awesome, right? Shout out to Forex too, because there's so many contracts, so many of these different dApps that are, they change the rules on you. And some of you guys have heard me harp on this before. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. You get into a contract, it's one thing, then you get in, you start depositing your funds, you start talking about it, you start building a team, and then they change the rules on you mid-game, right? That's crazy, right? Shout out to him. He's never changed anything. He said it before on AMAs that he has no intention of changing anything, and that'll never happen. In fact, as they build this layer 2, nothing's going to happen to the layer 1 contract. And again, you can use the layer 2 or not, right? But the layer 1 contract, nothing is happening to it, which is awesome. The layer 2 is going to just add more gamification. So, I'll get in both. Obviously, I have a big position in layer 1, but I'll get in layer 2. Anything this man does, I'll support, because look, he's made a lot of people a lot of money, right? He knows what he's doing. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I never invest in projects or platforms. I invest in people, right? So this is big. So yeah, lots of stuff here. Drip UI design came out a while ago. Why was the Drip UI not launched before now? The design you saw were designed in Figma. It still had to be built, and with everything else going on with Pancake Swap and the Animal Farm, it had to wait a bit longer. Spoke again about the developer who had who they had issues with regard to the speed at which he was delivering, and that caused delays. He's brought on James Devstreak, who's a quality, he's quality. He knows what he's doing, right? And another dev have been brought on to build the new Drip UI and products. They brought on Scratchy devs do work as well, so we can get back some ground. James will also help with the Dogs of Fortune game. Man, it's awesome. The Drip UI is actually quite complicated. It's got a complex system on the back end that has to run things like pricing, team mapping, and airdrops. And they didn't want to just release a pretty new UI. They wanted the new UI to bring a better user experience with new data points and tools to help visualize your investment. So kudos to them, right? They just didn't want to rush it and throw something out there. They actually want something that'll work and that's going to bring new features to us. If you can display models that are easier for people to see and understand, those people are more likely to stay invested and involved, which is true. So yeah, this is a lot of a lot of meat here, guys. This is a I thought I'd be able to just cover this quickly on a video. It doesn't seem like there's so much meat here, which is a good thing, right? If you're in this protocol, if you're a member, or if you're looking to get in, it's all good stuff. I mean, this is why we're so bullish on these projects. This is not just something that they just kind of throw together and just put out for the sake of putting something out. I mean, there's been a lot of thought process into this. I mean, they know what they're doing, and these are quality devs that are behind this. Here he starts talking about dogs. Can we stake our dogs in auto compounding and non-auto compounding at the same time, and then dogs tax reduced by 1.75% per day? He says no. You stake in either auto compounding or non-auto compounding, and the tax deduction depends on which one you are staked in. The tokens you have in auto compounding get 1% tax reduced, and non gets 0.75% a day reduced. There's a token loyalty score, which he's talked about a couple times, and a wallet loyalty score. And let me see, piggy bank talks about piggy bank, time lock stakes. He talks about some of the the potential partnerships or some of the past partnerships that were supposed to happen, right? So he talked a little bit about that, I guess. Um, wow. Here's a little bit about Scratchy. Can people buy anyone's Scratchy? What if they like someone else's Scratchy better because the jackpot is bigger? The thing is, the platform that is adopting the service has control over treasury and the percentage of the payout into the jackpot. So they can choose to up the jackpot. It's only people in the know that even realize that we are the team behind Scratchy. The average user will think the ticket belongs to the platform because the platform can have their own branding, right? Which he's talked about that before. The average user will play with the platform they know and like. You have to dig to find the other platforms hosting tickets. The UI you are forwarding to for Scratchies is like a My Tickets section. It only has a Scratchy branding from that platform. It doesn't list other projects or branding. Here's the ecosystem. Man, this is a shout out to Forex and his team, man. This is this is huge, right? Um, Here he's talking about his potential strategy, right? And by the way, I'll post this underneath in the description so you can read this all to yourself because I'm hitting on certain bullet points or certain bullet points that you might want to read about that I'm kind of skimming over. Um, but yeah, this is big. Let's see here. Here's the roadmap. We covered this already. This is just a little bit more in detail. Um, And then here's the other AMA, which I don't even think I'm going to cover this one because there was already a lot covered in this video. And I don't want this video to go any more longer than it already has. But I'll post this underneath down below. Again, it's just, Forex talking about the platform. But there's a lot of alpha in here. There's a lot of good, juicy details. This is meat. This is all meat. With everything going on, the future looks pretty bright. Forex said that we've never had so much developed, never had so much marketing, and never had such a solid team working with him. He believes we are. I don't know if that's supposed to say streets, but we are way ahead of anybody else in DeFi. We have sustainability, a legitimate product, and a strong marketing that will be sustained throughout, not just pump the marketing after launch for a couple of weeks and then do nothing afterwards. We're so lucky to have all our marketing capital ready to go pre-launch and plenty to do marketing longer term. We have a full marketing team dedicated to managing and evaluating this effort. Having a formal marketing staff is innovative for a DeFi project. I mean, what other projects out there has a marketing, like an actual marketing staff, right? Our marketing budget will rival any tech company. Our marketing campaign will be like nothing seen before in DeFi. A little bit more about Scratchy. So here says, any insights on the V2 contract for the faucet of layer 2? Will there be further taxes applied on it, similar to current faucet contracts, and adding liquidity to these contracts, and it will have a variable tax applied to them, but you are never paying more than 10%. With the new contracts, you're going to end up paying the same taxes as if you were going into the normal faucet, the original contract, right? But the structure of how it's allocated will be different, and this is going to allow us to build a marketing budget. It'll basically be the same, but it might be like 0.2% or 0.5% of the taxes is allocated towards marketing. Now that we have a full marketing team and a vehicle for promotions, it makes sense to have a bit of funds going towards more promotional activities, which I agree with 100%. These layer twos are going to be alternate ways to enter the faucet and reservoir that has a lot more utility, but you can just use the other contracts if you like those better. How secure is the DRIP contract? What security measures are in place? It's been running for 503 days, no issues. Contract is immutable in all the ways that are important. Contracts are audited. DRIP has well-tested mechanics, no use of oracles or no exposure to that in any way. A lot of liquidity is locked and fully decentralized. It's as secure as you can get in DeFi. Explained about DApp Radar labeling DRIP as high risk because of misunderstandings around the referral structure. Forex has spoken about this a lot. He already covered this in a couple of AMAs, so I'm not going to rehash it here. But this is this is as secure as you're going to get in DeFi. Can you please ask about the drip burning mechanism in Scratchy? We don't burn drip. We send it to the faucet so it can be used there to pay dividends. Yeah, he talked about his workout. That's all good. Yeah, awesome stuff here, guys. All right, so that looks like it's pretty much about it. There's a lot here. Again, like I said, I'll post this underneath this video so you can read it. But just know that the timeline is, this is what the timeline looks like. Lots of stuff that's going to be happening over this last quarter and also into 2023. If you're seeing this now, you're early. Yes, we've been around for almost a year and a half, but you're still seeing this early, in my opinion, guys. So, make of this as, make of this what you see fit. I know for me, I know what we're going to be doing. So, we're getting ready. We want to get positioned for all this stuff. So we're going to be continuing to build our position in the faucet, growing our position in the faucet. And, it's going to allow us to get into all these different things that he has ready to roll out. So, yeah, very, very exciting stuff, guys. Sorry for the long video, but again, it's a lot to go into. But yeah, we're we're just at the beginning of this, guys. All right, guys, follow me on Telegram. I will leave a link for that down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that little bell icon so you'll get notified straight away whenever we do a brand new video. As always, do your own research and only put in what you can afford to lose. And yeah, if you want to check any of the links or anything that we have associated with this, go in the description box down below. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.